Hey everybody, it's Mace1370. So Epic 7 has changed a lot over the years, and I thought it would be a good time as we get into the new year to create a new player guide for people who want to start playing Epic 7. It's a really fun RPG, but it can be pretty overwhelming because, all the gacha elements are a little different than some of the traditional Western RPGs, that people have played, and it can be overwhelming at first. So I thought the best way to do that would be to create a new account and kind of play through it together. And we'll progress into, probably just the early part of the mid game, trying to optimize our strategies, to quickly get into the meat of things and not waste a lot of time. So I will be skipping over the story, so you guys don't have to watch me click through that and the tutorials and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and we'll pick back up again once we, get past it. So Epic 7 is an RPG, but it has these gacha elements I've talked about. Gacha is kind of a hero collection type of game, similar to Pokemon. There are also a lot of different currencies. That's a common theme in gacha games. And so you can see you get this daily check-in reward when you show up. Look at all these different currencies. It can be pretty overwhelming. I'll just quickly explain the ones we have on the screen so far. These are leafs. You can turn them into energy. Energy is used to play most modes of the game. This is gold. It's used for upgrading gear, upgrading heroes. It has a wide variety of uses and is a pretty freely given currency. These are charms. They're used to upgrade your items, and you can see there's different charm types for the different item types, like your weapon, your armor, etc. These are bookmarks. They're used to summon new heroes and add them to your collection. There are different pools of heroes you can summon from, so the different bookmarks will pull a random hero from that pool. The Covenant pool has every hero in the game except for limited heroes. The Mystic Metals are a specific pool of Moonlight heroes. A Moonlight hero is a type of hero that is harder to get and is typically used in PvP. These are Molagoras. This is a currency used for upgrading the skills of your heroes. Skystones are a premium currency, and you can get Skystones for real-world money, but the game will give you some for free. It can be turned into energy, they can be turned into bookmarks, they can be turned in for a large variety of things. Over here we have another type of bookmark, the Galaxy bookmark. It can be used to summon pretty much any Moonlight hero in the game, right? It'll pick one randomly. So similar to the Mystic Metals, Galaxies can summon anyone. The Mystic Metals can summon a specific kind of rotating pool, so it's a smaller pool of heroes in the Mystic Metals. These are just summon tickets for a 4 to 5 star hero. I'll explain stars later. These are, this is an artifact summon ticket. An artifact is a special item that can be used by your heroes. And this is a phantasma. These are used for increasing the stars of your heroes. It's called promotion. So, the first day we get a couple leaves, so we'll collect that. You also get a new player check-in reward, which is always nice. And they give you a bunch of buffs for the first, bit of playtime to help accelerate your progress and encourage you to play. So the first thing they want us to do is go on an adventure. The adventure is the main storyline for the game, so this is an RPG, there is a story. I'm going to skip through all of the story and the tutorials and stuff, so you guys don't have to, sit through while I do it, but when you play the game, it's probably worth, reading through for a little bit to see if you enjoy it. And every time you go on one of these story missions, you get to bring a little buddy along, and similar to many mobile games, each little mission can be 3-starred. You get Skystone rewards for doing that. So you can see our buddy that's coming along for the ride here. This is our team of heroes we're bringing. Right now we just have the main character, Ras. So we're going to skip the story, and off we go. And at first you have to manually click through this, but you only have to do that for a little bit. The game will allow you to auto these simple battles relatively quickly. So all heroes have 3 different skills. You'll see them appear on the lower right of the screen when you get to a group of enemies. The 3rd skill is usually your big attack. It has a special animation, so you can see Vildred's here. The left skill is just a simple attack, and then the middle skill is either a passive ability, that's always active, or it's something, it's like a secondary attack, depending on the hero. Alright, so we 3-starred it, and we got all of the Skystones, so that mission is done. Oh, thank you, Crypto. He's bravely defending the house. You get these little 2-star, people call them fodder, creatures or whatever, by playing the adventure missions. they're not really important. You don't need to care about them. You just use them for increasing the stars of your own heroes. And they give us a little more tutorial there, but we're just going to go on to the next mission. And this time we're going to bring someone called Iseria along. She's another hero in the story. Okay, so we can skip through the story here. We're going to advance through this stage. You can see the location you are in the fight up here in the upper left. And if you want to see what the skills do, you can mouse over, and control click on them or tap on them. For these beginning fights, though, the monsters are so basic, they pretty much just instantly die.
I'll give you a rest.
They have these little chests that you click on in the background to get additional rewards. Eventually those are auto-picked up for you, so it's really not too tedious.
Get ready.
You can't escape.
So you can see Rast doesn't have a passive. He has this secondary attack that pulls a buddy in with him. They have these little shrines in the background of adventure stages that give you resources. They either heal you, or they give you souls. Once you get enough souls, you can do what's called a soul burn, which is a enhanced attack. And this enhanced attack will increase the effectiveness somehow. It'll make it do more damage, perhaps, or it could increase the chance of something happening, to make the attack more reliable. There's a huge number of soul burn effects, but every hero has a soul burn attack, and it's designated with this little soul icon here. And if you hold on the skill, you can see what the soul burn does. So this, if you soul burn it, will decrease the cooldown and let you use this skill more often. The other skills, all skills will give you souls every time you use them. So when you use this skill, this basic attack, you get 1 soul. They're collected down here. You can see this bar fill up. And once you get 10 souls, the bar will be full and you'll get this little icon here. So right now we have 10 plus about 9 souls probably. We'll go ahead and finish him off.
I'm just getting started.
And we 3-start again. Hooray! Alright, and you see we got another little fodder monster here. Okay, and I think the game just gave us Aether, another character. Okay, so they want us to add Aether to our team, so we'll do that. Okay, we can go ahead and skip this. Alright, so Aether's on our team. You generally speaking can have 4 heroes on your team at a given time. And once you do this, we unlock what's called the Adventurer's Path. This is a quest line that will lead you through the game, and this is really helpful. It'll help you learn the different areas of the game and also give you rewards. So when in doubt, look at the Adventurer's Path to see what you need to do next. This is a really great guide. So right now it wants us to go up to stage 1-4 in Adventure. We just did the 1-2 stage, so we need to do a couple more. I will go ahead and pause it while I do those 2. Okay, so we beat stage 1-4, and it's taking us to what they call the Infinite Library. This is where you can summon new heroes and add them to your collection.
New connections.
And you get 1 free Covenant summon a day, so we can go ahead and do that and see who we get. It sparks if you get a 4 or 5-star hero or artifact, so no spark means we got a 3-star. You can see that right here. Stars generally, increase with rarity and usefulness. So 5-star heroes are generally more useful than 4s, 4s than 3s, etc. This hero is not particularly good. Can I skip this? Skip. Okay. So we got that one. So you can see your resources up here. We basically don't have any. And the game will let you do what's called a Selective Summon. So this is a special one-time summon event, and it gives you multiple chances at getting a good hero or a good artifact. So if you go back to Covenant here, you can always click this icon on any of these options, and this will show you what you can possibly get and the odds of getting that particular thing. So for Covenant summons, almost any hero or artifact in the game is available here, like I said, with the exception of limited things. And you can see their percentages. 5 stars, it's about 1% chance. 4 stars, close to 5%. And the odds go up the worse the thing is, basically. You can see Moonlight heroes are much harder to get. And the 5-star Moonlights are the rarest ones of all. And they're generally the best. Same idea with the artifacts on this side. There are always rotating banners here. So these are specific pools of heroes that allow you to target a particular 5-star hero. So for example, Politis is a hero that's been out for a while, so they usually have a rotating banner of old heroes. Right now it's Politis. And if we click the little icon here, we can see that the 5-star hero rate is 1%, and Politis is the only 5-star hero you can get. So if you want to target a particular hero, that's why you pull on a banner. The limited summon right now is Giselle, so we don't always have limited summons available. Right now we're doing a collab with these K-pop heroes. Limited heroes, you can only get them on their banner, and then once their banner's gone, you can't pull them until their banner comes back. And kind of the disclaimer for all limited heroes is that they may not come back ever. So it's kind of a one-shot to get them. Generally speaking, they try to rerun a lot of limited banners on like a yearly basis, I'd say. So you usually have another shot at them if you don't get them. But that's, no guarantee. So for our selective summons, the way this works is we basically get 30 attempts to pull something good. And while you're using those 30 attempts, you can always save one. So if you get a good result, you can put that aside and save it in case you don't get anything else, and then you can always get that one at the end. It's a fairly limited pool of things you can get. You can see here, you're also capped at getting one 5-star thing, whether that's an artifact or a hero. Artifacts, like I said, are special items that heroes can use. That gives them, kind of a unique ability. You can see the 5-star heroes here. I think most people recommend on your selective summon that you pick a 5-star hero. An artifact isn't like necessarily the worst, but you can, if you can, I would recommend getting a hero. They don't have anything that's like super necessary in this, group. They have a couple good ones. But the meta in the, advanced game is always changing. So what's good now maybe won't be good later. So we can go over our options. Ball and Cezanne is garbage. He's not used in much. Sigrid is really good for Wyvern 13, which is kind of the first big thing that most people try to accomplish in this game. So, Epic 7 is an RPG. We want to collect heroes, we want to build them up, and a big part of that is gear, and Wyvern 13 is the place where you get gear. So the hunts, there's different types of hunts. Wyvern is a type of hunt, and then as you beat them, they become harder, and 13 is the hardest one, and that's the one that most people farm to get items. So Sigrid is good for that, so that's why some people recommend getting her. However, I will say they've added a kind of, not promotion, a special thing in the game where as you're going through the hunts, it unlocks various rewards, and now you get Sigrid for free when you do that. So you're guaranteed to get her, so you don't need to get her from Selective Summon anymore. Ludwig is not super useful. Destina is good in PvP right now, but that could change in the future. Vildred, pretty decent in PvP, and he'll always probably be at least decently useful, but he's a little more specific for a certain type of playstyle. Basar is kind of an outdated hero. He's not used much anymore. Araminth is bad. Chloe can be used for Wyvern 13, so she's not the worst, along with Sigrid, which you get for free. So getting a Chloe isn't bad. Ken is pretty useless. Tywin is old and useless. Charlotte is okay for PvP right now, but she kind of goes in and out of the meta, mostly out of the meta. Ravi, not super useful. Sez, not super useful. Iseria is probably one of the better heroes on this list for PvE, because she's really useful in like Abyss and Labyrinth and other various modes of PvE. So there's a lot of different modes, ways you can play the game to get different rewards, and Iseria is good in a lot of those. So I think what we're going to hope to get here is probably Iseria, since we can get Sigrid for free, and then we'd settle for like Chloe maybe, or maybe a Vildred would be fine, or a Destina, a useful unit there, or a hero there. If we had to get an artifact, generally speaking, you don't really want to get one of these, but Song of Stars is good for PvE. Abyssal Crown is good for PvP. Rod of Amaryllis is good for both PvP and PvE. Sigurd Scythe is good for PvP. So there's some decent artifacts on here, but I think generally we probably want Iseria, I guess would be what I'm shooting for. So when you click this, you'll see we get sparks here, and these are 10 pulls, so we're actually summoning 10 things at once. And hey, we got a hero right away. So who do we get? Oh, we got Destina. So that's not bad. Like, Destina's a decent Soul Weaver healer. You know, she can be used in PvE also. So I just clicked through so we didn't have to watch every single one. We can skip the tutorial. So you get 10 things. As long as you get a 4-star or higher, you'll get those sparks. So you can get potentially a ton of 4 stars. But you're only going to get one 5-star hero or artifact, and you may not get either, right? You may just get 3 stars or 4 stars. So there's not a ton of like useful 3 to 4 star things you can get in this, but there are a few, so I'll point those out. Daydream Joker is the best 3-star artifact you can get. This is really useful for PvE. You're going to want to get a bunch of these, and these, you have to enhance them with multiple copies of themselves to fully unlock them, and you can see that down here. See these little white spaces? So you need 6 total copies of Daydream Joker to get it fully maxed out. So getting Daydream Jokers is great. Alexa is a pretty decent hero for Wyvern 13, so if you can get her, I would recommend it. Terranor Guard, also pretty good. Not really for Wyvern 13, but for various spots in the PvE game, he is actually useful. And the rest of this is garbage. So I'm actually going to record this one, so this saves it and sets it aside for later, because this isn't a bad result. We got a decent 5-star, and we got some good 3 stars with it. All right, so let's save this, record it, and now we'll continue on with our summons. Okay, Adamant Shield, that's a okay 4-star artifact. Some 4-star heroes, so yeah, you see no 5-star on this one, and pretty much everything is garbage here. You'll get these 3 and 4-star things just by playing the game, so don't feel like you need to get a good result here. The Selective Summon has become much less important now that those hunt, events have been added that guarantee that you get Sigrid, right? You do have the option of re-rolling, so you can kind of delete and restart just to get to this point over and over to try and get the hero you want. Not wrong to do that, but it does take time and effort. But if you're really dead set on a specific hero, then that may be the way to go. We didn't get a 5-star here, but we got a couple decent 3 and 4 stars. Montmorency is really good. She's a good starting healer. She's good in Wyvern 13. And that's kind of where we want to direct all of our attention in the beginning of the game, is getting your Wyvern 13 team together, because once you get that and you can farm Wyvern 13, that will give you the gear to gear all your other heroes, and it'll help unlock the rest of the game. So that's kind of our priority. Moonlight Dreamblade is actually a decent 4-star artifact used in PvP, and Kiris is a decent kind of niche hero used in some PvE content. Okay, so whenever these little people pop up, that means you got a 5-star. If they come from the right, that's a hero. The left is an artifact. So here's Song of Stars. This is one of the better artifacts we could have pulled, but I think I'd rather have just Destina. Yeah, because I don't think we really need this to do Wyvern 13, but you could use it there. Another artifact, Song of Stars again. We got, looks like some 4-star and some kind of other garbage. Prophetic Candlestick is okay. It's an okay 3-star, so is Timeless Anchor. This is all trash. Wow, no sparks at all for a couple in a row. That's always fun. 3 in a row, no sparks. I like it. Okay, we got Ken for this one. He's pretty garbage. Tagahel's Ancient Book. This is actually the best 4-star artifact. You can kind of never have enough copies of this. But, we're not just taking it from Selective Summons, so let's see what else we can get here. Another artifact. Elbrus. Actually not a bad artifact. There are a few heroes that use this, but again, I think we kind of want to concentrate probably on a hero here. We're really hoping for Iseria. Here's a hero. Oh, so we got Sigrid. Do we want Sigrid over Destina? Feels like you don't need this anymore because you can get her from, the free event thing. So I guess we're going to pass. We also didn't really get any 3-star stuff along with this that's helpful. Another hero. Ball Cezanne, he is bad. Daydream Joker. Rin, not useful. Says he's not very good. He is getting buffed soon, but it's debatable how useful he's going to be after that. Here's Song of Stars again. I actually don't think the fact that we can get Sigrid for free, taking this isn't really the worst, but there's Says again. He was actually, when I first started, he was the hero I took from the Selective Summons because I thought he looked cool. I didn't do any research. And he was actually good when the game first was released, but it was a brief window. RNL, Rhiannon Lucella, is an okay artifact, but pretty niche. When I say niche, I just mean it's only really used in a very specific circumstance, so not useful for a beginning player. Okay, a Destina again, but maybe we got something better with it. We got a Wondrous Potion Vial, that's good. We got an Armin, that's okay. So is this better than our other one? Probably not. I mean, the Potion Vial is nice. Can I see? Okay, so we can compare them here. So this gives us Alexa, and she's useful in Wyvern 13. I mean, Potion Vial is not bad. And you can argue we'll probably get an Alexa later. So this is kind of debatable. I mean, this is probably better just because we have the Potion Vial. No, this says Daydream Joker. I'm just going to keep this one. We'll get Potion Vials. They're not that rare. Sasha Thanes is actually a decent artifact for PvP, but it doesn't help you in the beginning of the game. A lot of people try to jump into PvP too early. You have to get some PvE stuff done. We got Destina again. This time with really not much else, so we can skip that one. Any Isarias? Nope. Abyssal Crown, decent PvP artifact, but again, doesn't help us in the beginning of the game. Wow, this one had a lot of sparks. Yep, but nothing useful. Says again, isn't that like the 5th Says? Oh, and that's it. Okay, so I guess we have to pick now. So we're taking Destina. We get Alexa and Daydream Joker. It's all right. Not the best, but whatever. Okay, we got them. Hooray! All right, so that is the Selective Summon. Is there anything else we can do in this first quick little intro? Probably. Let's go back to the main lobby. All right, so again, like I said, when in doubt, you can always follow your adventure path for the next thing to do. I just like to take this opportunity to quickly explain like the user interface, and then I think that'll be it for this first part. So obviously there's a lot of buttons and resources and stuff, and it can be a little intimidating. So the shop here, you can click this, and this will take you to a place where you can buy things. Pretty self-explanatory, right? A lot of real money purchases in the packs, but there's a lot of other areas that do not require money to use. Different currencies to buy things, and you will be using this pretty frequently to obtain different items. This hero tab here allows you to interact with the roster of characters you have. You can set your teams. These other areas are more for later game, but if you click hero here, this will take you to the roster of heroes you have. They want us to equip someone. I'll do that later. Summon, we already did that. Reputation, these are achievements or quests basically, and they have different categories. You have daily achievements that give you rewards, and I would highly recommend, if you're going to play the game, you try to do those every day. They give you a lot of good rewards, and you can see the list of possible ones you can do here. You don't have to do every single one to max it out, so they give you options. And once the rewards are maxed out, there's no point in doing the others. Weekly, same idea as the dailies, but it's just weekly. Try to do them. And then they have different categories here of achievements that unlock as you play the game. These are just things you do that give you bonus rewards. And generally speaking, you don't have to pay a ton of attention to these. You'll just get them as you play the game. And if there's something specific, we can point that out. So once you've unlocked one of the achievements, you can click that and get it. So that's what reputations are. Down here, these are different game modes you can interact with. So adventure, this is the main story of the game. We've already clicked that. You click here and you can do the next missions in the chapter you're on. This is a master menu here, so we can just click this and go back to the lobby. So most of the options you can get to on here, but you can always click this little square and this will give you basically all of the same things, just in a different format. So side story is similar to adventure. These are not unlocked yet, but they are kind of specific stories that tie into the main story somehow. So they're either like a minor character or, it's like a different point in history, something like that. Generally speaking, they do like little mini stories whenever a new character comes out. They get their own side story, and that's over here on the left. These three are fairly constant. And the unrecorded history is something that you unlock after you play through the main story. It lets you play through the missions again, but they're just a little more difficult and they give you better rewards. Moonlight Theater is kind of weird. It's just like a story you can click through and it gives you rewards. And the Book of Memories is where they put really old side stories that they've already repeated them a few times. So after a while, the side stories, no longer rotate back and they just get thrown in the Book of Memories, and you have to pay a currency to unlock them. So it's for like new players that never got to do them. So that's what side stories are. They're kind of like mini stories that are only available for a certain period of time. Battle, so these are the different PvE game modes. So this is not PvP, this is all PvE. There's a lot of different modes you can play. Labyrinth is kind of like a dungeon. There's like a little map you walk around on, and you fight monsters. Spirit Altar, these are little boss fights that give you a currency called runes. Runes are used to awaken your character, which is one of the ways that you can enhance them. Awakening turns their stars from gold to having a black center, and it gives them more stats when you do that. Automaton Tower is a PvE game mode. There's different floors on this tower, and you go up the tower fighting one at a time. And as you go up, you get devices that enhance your team. And they're kind of like random. Each time you beat a floor, you have to pick one of 3 devices. So it's kind of like a deck building game, or it's similar to that like adventure mode in Hearthstone, I think, where you can pick devices that like do specific things and kind of craft, your team around that. So it's kind of fun. Abyss is similar to the Automaton Tower, but you go down instead of up, and you don't have devices. So Abyss is basically just like boss fights. And each one is kind of like a puzzle. They usually have unique mechanics, and you have to figure out the right team to take to the boss fight. And they have very good rewards in the Abyss. Hunts, this is where you will spend most of your energy farming. So hunts, there's different types, and you fight them to basically get items for your character's gear. And the different hunts drop different sets of items. So there's the Wyvern right there. That's where you do Wyvern 13. Hall of Trials, this is a kind of rotating boss fight. It changes every 2 weeks. Similar to Abyss, I guess, where it has like a specific mechanic, and it has its own currency and its own rewards. We'll go over that once it's unlocked. And a lot of these things are not available to you right now because you have to, progress through parts of the game to unlock them. Up here you have your currencies. Here is your inventory, so you can click through and see the items you have. These tabs up here bring you to different, parts of your inventory. If you click this, this gives you a list of all the heroes that you have, and you can see what gear they have on. These are just the items you have in the different item slots that they fit into. These are your artifacts. You can see them all here, and you can click one to see what it does. I recommend locking the ones you want to keep. Same thing with items, so that you don't accidentally, delete them or something. And we haven't unlocked these things yet, and this is just like bonus stuff over here. This is your mailbox. You'll get various bonuses, by logging in, redeeming things or whatever, and they'll show up in your mailbox. And it looks like we got some special stuff just for showing up. So we can take that, get our leaves and our gold. Whoops. And I guess because we're doing this collab, they're giving us a free 5-star artifact and 5-star hero. So I guess I could have done this before I did the selective summon. Let's see who we get. Wouldn't it be funny if we got Destina? That would be awkward. We got Sez. This game really wants to give me Sez. So I guess we got Sez. Hooray. Okay. And let's see what artifact we get. Twilight Calamity. Not a good one. You're probably not going to get a good one from those because there's so many bad heroes. So you can access these special check-ins through your mailbox here. It's a good idea to go to these every single day, because they have various rewards that you can pick up. There's little red dots next to the ones that are available to pick up, so you just go through here every day and you collect them. These are special bookmarks for the limited hero that lets you summon them. This is a special kind of like special login thing for being a new player. These are, I guess, rewards that everybody unlocked. It was a group effort, so we can just pick those up. These are special missions, or quests, if you will, for the collaboration that's going on. You can click them and see exactly what you need to do to unlock them. Let's see. I think that should be pretty much it. Yeah, so I will progress a bit farther down the adventure path, unlock a few more things, and we will be back in the next installment once I finish that. See you later.